something grandparents say, you'd be like,
an example today was Julian, of course, our 4-month-old, and she was taking care of him, and she goes, Bree recently started giving him like oatmeal, a little cereal, and he's been eating it. That's the first thing he ate, so awesome. And so Bree's mom saw it today for the first time and said, "I knew he was ready to eat. I knew it because I was sitting down at the table and I was eating food and I looked over and he had his mouth open. That's how you know they ready to eat." Like, what does that even mean?
You don't even know how to control his lips yet.
He can't even hold his head up. What are you talking about? That's how you know, like, you know what I mean? It means that it means well, but it's just something that makes you go, what? Or this is the Journey Podcast, a podcast about the issues Christians face in everyday life. I'm Brandon Hargrove Sita. I'm joined as always by my co-host Tanya Hayes and my wonderful wife Bree Hargrove Sita. This podcast is a production of CCUMEDIA. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of Christ Care Unit, Missionary Baptist Church, CCUMEDIA, or Bishop Robert F. Hargrove Sr. We are all members of Christ Care Unit, Missionary Baptist Church in Sicklerville, New Jersey, where Bishop Robert F. Hargrove is pastor and founder. Stick around because in just a second we'll dive deep into the issues that Christians face every day. This is the Journey Podcast. Let's talk about it. Okay, ladies, here back for another episode of the Journey Podcast. Thank you for all those that are coming back and joining us. This is episode something 7. I believe this is episode number 7.
Yeah.
And we're excited to be back for yet another new episode. We haven't gotten together in a couple of weeks. We have some technical issues, hopefully, that we have worked out, and some other things going on. But we're back. We have the whole gang is here.
We're here.
And we're excited. We have our second guest on the Journey Podcast ever. We are excited to have Miss Georgia Colemen in the house.
Hi, Georgia.
Miss Georgia is here. She's going to tell us in a few moments a little bit about herself and who she is and what she does. But Georgia is a close family friend of ours and has been heavily involved in Bree's life and certainly ours, especially with the kids. She's been a huge help. And so we're glad to have her on the podcast today to get some insight from her on wherever the conversation leads us, wherever it may go. Who knows? Because this is one of the first episodes that we're doing where we're not really planning a format. So we'll see how that works out. The first few episodes that that we've done and posted, we've had topics written out, and we're going to go from this to this, and how do we segue from here to that, and this is the first one where we're just going to take it away and just see what happens.
Flow with it.
So,
right?
yeah.
This is going to be funny. This is going to be fun and funny because, as you said, we always have the topics planned out, and we always go off the grid and do our own thing, and we flow with it and have fun with it. Now we don't have no topics. So
yeah, we'll just sit here staring at each other like dead air, dead air, dead air, dead air, dead air, more dead air. So yeah. Well, let's see what happens. So Miss Colemen, why don't we like to let the audience kind of because we know you, we know who you are, we know everything you've done, but our audience may not. So why don't we start with what you do for a living?
Well, I am a head teacher, director of a child care center. I've been working there for 2 years. They opened back in 2020. But I've been in child care for 11 years. I actually graduated with a bachelor's in biology because I wanted to be a pediatrician, but then, life happens. I ended up with a child and thinking of going to school for another 4 years and then doing 3 years of residency. It wasn't going to work out for me. So I decided to go another route and thought about going into school for pharmacy, went to Temple for quality and regulatory assurance, took a couple classes, and I was like, it's still not for me. But while I was doing classes, I was working at at a child care center, and I realized how much I still love kids, and I'm like, I'm gonna just go the teaching route, and I've been working with kids ever since, and I love it so much. They're all my babies. What else? But I I want to be like an executive director, so I'm back in school and getting my master's so I can grow within the company that I'm with. I love my boss. She loves growth. So I love people who love to see their employees grow. So that's where I'm at right now.
Awesome.
And I also have a business on the side, which she allows me to work on because she's a businesswoman herself. She has several other businesses. So she helps me along in guiding me and being my mentor of how I should go about doing this whole business thing.
And
So what's the
The-
business?
Right now, I'm making body butters. The name of the company is Asasiya. It actually means Divine Mother Earth because my parents are African descent from Ghana, West Coast. What's up? And Yah means Thursday. We just identified by the day that we were born. So Asasiya, Divine Mother Earth, and Yah means Thursday born. And my mom is a Thursday born, so I'm like, I just incorporated the both of them. With the body butters, I've actually been making my own body butters since I was younger, and black soaps, like putting vitamin C and all kinds of stuff to help with the skin. Because as growing up, people are always saying, Georgia, your skin is so soft. Your skin is so soft. What do you do? Half the time I don't even put lotion on, but all my years I've been exfoliating with the nets and using the body butters and the black soap. So it's like, you smell good, you feel soft and all this stuff. I'm like, I'm just using whatever my parents have given me from back home. So I decided to bring that into my world, and so far it's been good. I like shimmery stuff, so I add glitter to it sometimes. Not everybody likes the glitter, so I have ones with glitter and then ones without, and I like colors. So if somebody wants colors, I can add a mixture of pinks and purples and blues.
so you're capable of making custom orders.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
And I just started off with sensitive skin. I'm not going to tell all my ingredients, but like avocado oil and some other stuff
So-
to help.
So most of the stuff that you're getting to make the soaps and everything, is that stuff that you have to? Are you sourcing that from here, or are you getting that from
From
Africa,
from
or
back home with the oils from back home, because I have my aunts and my mom who have a tendency to go like once or twice a year, and they bring back a bulk from home. Now, some of the oils aren't always originated from Ghana. They're from other foreign countries, but I try to make it as organic as possible.
that's cool.
Yeah.
She made me this lip gloss one time. What was it with the rose inside of it? It was a lip gloss.
It was a body oil.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it was
A
amazing.
body oil,
Yeah.
But you
lips.
can use it for
See
your.
what I'm saying?
No, I use it for my lips.
Lips,
So
yeah.
you put it on your lips, and your lips are soft all day.
Soft.
And then she made me a container of raw shea butter, and I would think it was like blue and pink.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it would stay
Your
on all
grandmother
day.
would have loved this.
Oh my
Brandon.
gosh, it was amazing.
She would have
So,
truly
yeah.
loved it.
And the products, you can use it in your hair. You're able to use it
Yeah.
on different areas, not just one.
Like the
Well,
lip
I
gloss
need to
she
get
made
some
me.
because I'll be one ashy. I don't know what. I just be just so ashy. Elbows,
Right.
ankles, ashy.
Right. That's why I used to use the lip gloss she gave me. Sometimes my at the time it was like my skin was drying out all the time, so I would put it on like my forehead and my nose and things like that where I would break out, and you can use it on your elbows too, on your
Yeah.
knies.
I'm telling
It's
you.
You
very
know,
nice. You'll
it
be
was-
glistening in the
Yes,
sun, looking
yes.
all nice. I was like, yeah, let me
I
just
want my
bring this
elbows
out.
to look nice because they be
Yeah.
looking like little brilliant.
And I add
pads.
scents to it too, so you'll be smelling good.
It just smells good.
Yeah, it's
It
like
does smell good.
custom made. Just
Oh, well,
tell
I have
me.
to check it out.
You know,
I do.
Bree has never mentioned this one. How long have you been doing this?
Oh, I mean, I've been making body butter since I was young, but to actually I started actually in March because my boss had an event, and she's like, Georgia, I need some of your products, and I was like, oh snap, and now I have
This
to
is my opportunity.
now
This
I have
is
to
it.
make labels. How many do you need and everything? And I was like, all right, I got to make a larger quantity than I'm used to making, and I said, it's time to go, and I did it. I was like, it ain't nothing but God, because I ain't never do this much before.
That's
It's a
And-
beautiful thing that
It
you
is.
your boss
Yeah.
from another source of not that has nothing to do with your company
Yeah.
or your new product that she's promoting it.
Exactly.
That's so beautiful.
I was like, it
That
all
is so
worked
beautiful.
out.
Because some people don't want to. They want to hold on to you, and they want to succeed, and they just hold you stagnant.
Yeah.
But now she's pushing you.
She's amazing.
To
And
do
to
my
your
own, too.
go ahead, Panina.
I love
Go ahead,
her.
Panina.
Okay, I love her. But I was happy for the opportunity, and then after that, one after the other, people was like, "Oh, I need more," and I was like, "I gotta find time to do it because I still have other things on my plate." But I'm able to make large quantities and have it there. And if somebody wants something custom made, I just take it out, put the color and their scent, and then send it off.
Okay.
So
That's
I'm
awesome.
still growing.
Yeah, we'll get some more information on how to find you if you're
that would be
online. We'll get that at the end of the episode there. We'll make sure it's in there. And also, of course, it'll be on the Facebook post and the show notes for the podcast. So we'll add all that information in there if you're interested in getting some body butters and some soaps and some skincare
Oils.
products from
Oils.
Georgia.
I make a
for
lot
sure.
of other things too. So
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
I was going to
have our
ask her, did
listeners
she
check
have
it
a
out.
menu? You know.
yeah, I like experimenting biology. So I'm into science, experimenting.
Okay.
So there's other things I've made. That
No, a menu of all the
what-
products and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I make a lot of stuff. So that's why I'm like, I don't have a definite menu yet, but
Just tell
it'll
her.
come out.
Just tell her what you want. She's like,
Exactly.
okay, I got you. Give me a.
Yeah.
Give me a.
You
Give me
want
a.
Okay.
some homemade ant spray? I can make that for you.
Oh, Lord.
Household products, anything.
Good.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Getting back into the child care aspect of your life, because I have a couple questions for you.
Sir.
First, let me start with this. Tell me what so far maybe is like the most difficult maybe period of time, or maybe the most difficult thing to deal with working in childcare and the level that you do, because you're not just, like you said, a regular teacher.
Yeah.
You're in that kind of director role.
So, yeah. Deal with the employees, the parents. Not so much. The kids are never the difficult ones. It's the adults.
The adults, huh?
Yeah.
See, now I would think a million little Rugrat kids running around would be the most stressful part of your
No.
day.
Rugrats.
It's not.
Rugrats.
They are Rugrats.
Brandon
let's call them
Jr.
what they
being
are.
the leader of the
I'm not even just talking about our kids. I'm talking about the rest of them, because there are kids that are out there that are worse than ours. I've seen them.
Yeah.
There are.
The crazy thing is, kids love structure. They love routine.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like once somebody keeps them on top of the routine, and you keep and you stay on top of them. I know for other, some adults it's hard to stay on top of the kid, but once you stay on top of them, they can end up running the classroom themselves.
I was going to say, kids love inclusiveness.
Yeah,
They love to be included.
they do.
They love
They like
to
for
be
you
the
call
special
them
helper.
that.
Their microphone so low for. Lift your microphone up.
to be the special.
There you go.
helper.
Everyone's talking down here. It's,
Because I
lift
didn't
it up.
want,
and talk
I
into
didn't
that
want to
microphone.
breathe in the microphone.
I know. I feel like I'm.
Right.
You're not.
Absolutely.
You're good. You're good. The one time.
But yes.
Oh, you're.
Kids want to. They want to be the helper.
Exactly. They all want to help. So that's why you have jobs for them to do. And always calling them, oh, good job. I like the way you're sitting. I like the way you're cleaning up. Always being on top. Yeah, I tell the teachers, you're going to talk a lot. You're going to have to know how to use your voice and notice every kid.
What? Why you look at me like that, Bran?
Nothing.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Say what you have to say.
I am going to. Don't cut her off.
Okay, go
Let
ahead.
her talk.
And
Okay.
it's like you just got to pay attention to them and know their needs before they even need to come and ask you. Treat them like they're your own, and everything will flow in the classroom.
Speaking of treating kids like their own, why do my kids listen to Georgia better than they listen to me?
Because I stay on on top of them each and
Absolutely.
every time. I try to catch them before they even do anything, because I already know if this person is playing with a dinosaur, but it's a red one and he wants the blue one. Here, let's switch this one, because I already know what's coming. Even though it's the same toy, some kids just can't let it go. And it's like, how about this? We gonna talk it out. Always talk. They like when you talk to them. It's like a respect thing. So,
But those same little kids that want what so-and-so has, don't you know that they grow up to be adults that want that same, they have that same mindset?
and some of them, yeah.
They have that same mindset. Because even where I work at, and I don't work with children per se anymore. I was in the classroom for a while. But the adults that I work with on a norm, not even my could possibly be some of the co-workers, but they have this, I call it she has more sprinkles on the ice cream syndrome than I do. You know,
Yeah.
it's like whatever this one has, they were because it's not your turn now.
Yeah,
You
we
know,
teach
it's
them that too. So it's
not
like,
your
okay, we're gonna
turn.
flow. Like, I know it's gonna take steps, but we're gonna flow into this. Like, we're switching. And now you have to realize that when this one has the blue one, they're going to play with the blue one. When they're done, then you can. It's gonna be a battle, but it's like as long as you're consistent with it, eventually they will let it go.
Right. And then you have to establish your own respect and relationship with your kid, whether it be classroom or parenting. You have to have your own relationship with them, because Miss Georgia can come in there and say blah, 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 whereas they'll snap up and do right. And you over there why are you begging your child to do something? You know, when I was in the daycare, this is what I came across a lot. The teachers, they would send them to the office when I was just in the office. When I stopped teaching, they would send them to the office, and the kids say, "Are we going to the principal office?" I was not the principal office. But they didn't understand, why is it that Miss Tanya can get this out of our children and that out of our children? Because of the respect that you have.
Yeah.
Because you're mean.
I am not mean.
Okay.
Because they know I love them. All right. But the thing is, even with that being said, when you have to reprimand them and you have a specific type of relationship, a bond with them, then when you reprimand them, they still love you.
Yeah, they still do.
They still love you.
They'll come up with
But-
pictures.
and kids know when, right? Kids know when it's mean and when it's not mean. When somebody's there for them and when somebody don't
They
really
know.
like, they know it. They know it. And yes, they will come with the pictures. They will come with and you hang the pictures up. I don't care how scribbly scrabbly it is.
Yep.
Hang that picture up and make a big to do out of.
I think that's one of the biggest reasons why I not that reason, but working in childcare was not where I wanted to, stay, because I went to school for that originally too. But once I started having my own kids, I could not be like, I felt like I couldn't spread the love everywhere, because I put so much into the kids before I had my own. It was like, yeah, this ain't for me no more. Yeah, this ain't it. So,
But that's
I'm
a good
happy
thing. That's a good thing to be able to know when
You
it's
realize.
not for you.
yeah.
Don't hang in there and try to just wing it or just deal with it, because
right.
it shows.
It shows.
does.
It shows.
It
in your- It
shows.
shows
Kids
in
would
your.
feel it.
It shows in you not being, like you said,
Attentive.
It shows in how impatient you are with the kids. It shows on just that you just don't want to be there because you're not giving the kids your all.
Exactly.
Of course, when I was still working in childcare, I was in school at the same time. Going and doing what I'm doing now. But I don't know if I was there 100%, but probably wasn't, because I had 2 infants at the time. Jalen and Brandon were 14 months apart. So it was like I had my babies at home, bring them to school, and then had to deal with everyone else's babies. So it was a lot. But I'm happy now that, being a mom and being on the other side.
That's
of
what
my
I've been
kids
saying.
go.
Them other kids are bad.
Yeah.
We don't call them bad.
Difficult.
I do. I'm a parent. I ain't a teacher.
I know.
Y'all
I
bad.
never-
You bad. You bad.
Do you even call them difficult or just a
I don't call
challenge?
them- I just say we're not using our listening ears,
Right.
because you'll hear the other kids tell their friends, "You're being bad." No. We
Oh,
never
no.
say
Oh, yeah, no.
that.
Like to the kids.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because the kids, they're always listening, even when you think
Yes,
they're
they
not.
do.
And then you'll see, when you see them playing kitchen, you're doing the same things wherever
do.
they seen at home.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, be careful what you say. 'cause they're
Jalen
bringing
talking
it
and
into-
telling me I need to go relax and
Yeah.
meditate.
because I have the
Yeah.
kids
Because
meditating.
Georgia tells him to go meditate.
Yep, I meditate. We do primal screams. So I'm over here like, if you need to let it out, because kids love screaming, I'm like, all right, everybody scream. Everybody lets it out. And sometimes during the day, it's just quiet. You forget there's kids in the classroom. That's
And
how
that's-
it was.
and
we
when
need
that's
I was-
that
so cool.
at my job.
That is-
The
it's so
scream
cool.
room.
Yeah.
Just go in there, close
No,
the door,
for
go ahead
real.
and scream.
Do they have a
meditation
scream room?
and
No, I'm saying that's what we need. We need that in every
I do.
workplace.
We do at where I work at.
Yeah.
You do?
That's
yeah,
cool.
when I went on my interview for the job, they told us this: if you just need a moment to yourself,
Yeah.
just go back. We have 3. It's the big office, and then there's a middle office that's not an office. It's more like it's like a lot of books and all kinds of
Okay.
stuff. And then there's the back office with a refrigerator and the microwave and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're like, just go in the back and just do what you need to
Yeah.
do, and then come on back out.
Yeah.
I have not gone back there as of yet. I just do it right here at the front office.
I know.
But no,
People need it.
kids like you said, they need to have praise. Too often we want to criticize what they've done, and that just makes them shut down.
It does. Yeah.
It makes them shut down,
Yeah.
and it's and they feel not worthy, or they feel worthless, and we don't want our children to feel that way.
Exactly.
Because then they become adults that don't do anything because you said that I wasn't going to be nothing. So guess what? I'm not going to be nothing. You instilled that in me. You spoke that into the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And this is what I thought. Unless I have a really strong mind or a really strong spiritual background that tells me, because Jesus tells me that I am all that. He loves me, and if you don't have that, like a lot of people who don't go to church, who has not been brought up in church,
They grow
then
up.
they go and they feel like, they give every excuse in the world why they don't do this or that, or because they was not, no one spoke life into them.
Yeah. It trickles down, because if it doesn't happen with the parents, then they don't know how to do it for their kids. And
Yeah.
it's just-
Right.
I think teachers have the most important job. There are kids are with you guys more than they are with parents.
Exactly.
People don't realize that. If I work eight hours at work, my kids are with their teacher for
For
8
8
hours
hours.
a day.
And sometimes longer than that, right?
Sometimes longer than
Because
that.
they have the
Open
after
to
school.
There you go. I mean, and definitely with Georgia, she is godmom to our kids. So
Okay.
there's times where I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm running late from work. Can you take the kids home with you? And then they're with her for an additional hour and a half or 2 hours. Or Jalen's like, I want to go to Gigi's house. So now
Oh,
he's
you're Gigi?
yeah.
Gigi?
So now he's at Gigi's house. You know what I mean? So there's things like that, but you guys' role is very important. Well,
yeah.
Georgia's role now.
Yeah, but it's a good thing. You want to get to the point as a teacher where the kids is like they want to be with you.
Exactly.
They want to be
They run into that classroom. Bye, mom. Or
right.
they even say
That's
bye
where
to
you
mom.
want to be at. That's what I was thinking. Exactly. That's where you want to be at, because other than that, you would have that screaming, crying kid all day
all day
that's
long.
miserable, and
Yes.
everybody else is miserable.
Exactly.
You're miserable, even though you're trying not to be miserable.
Yeah.
But you want that parents out there. It is not a bad thing when your kid don't want to be bothered with you. They want to be at school.
It hurts
It's
my
a good
feelings.
thing.
It does
I
hurt my
know.
feelings. It hurts my feelings a little bit, but even
That's why I said that.
Yeah,
I
my
figured
boy
it.
Jalen and Brian always still give me a kiss and a hug before they go, but I know that they're not, crying for me while I'm at work. That's the best. That's the best part.
Okay.
Even with Julian this time around, I wasn't able to stay home with him longer because we have 3 kids now. Like I had to go back to work.
Right.
Everything was all back healed, but just dropping him off that first day, Georgia, remember,
Crying.
I was
Just crying.
I was ugly
Crying.
crying.
I said, Bree, he'll be fine.
I
But
handed,
I'm like,
I handed her the
"We'll
car
send pictures."
seat, and she's like, "Give your mama a kiss. Give your mama a kiss. Tell her to go."
Exactly.
And I drove my way to work crying, but it was not like, oh, I don't think he's in good hands. It was more like I just missed my baby. You know what I mean? So just to not have that worry is a really good feeling to have as a parent. It is.
It is. Especially now.
In these times,
You
yeah.
want to know that the person that has your child or children, that they are good protectors.
Yeah.
That they're in good hands. They're good protectors, because there's so much going on, as with our last segment that we had when we talked about the shootings at the school and everything. You want to know that if something happens, they're going to protect my child or my children.
Yeah.
And they're not going to just up and run out and
Right,
just
and
go on
just
about their
leave,
business
right.
and
No,
leave
we
them
have
hanging.
policies and procedures. This is what we need to do if something's to happen. Everybody got to be on the same page, because we're not leaving nobody's child behind. If you're gonna be here for these kids. If not, there's the door.
Yeah.
I know that's right.
I
oh
love
boy,
all
do I
these
know
kids.
that's
I'm
right.
like, I could take all of them by myself, but I'm not going to, and we can't because of Jersey regulations. So make sure like when you are hiring somebody that they're here for the kids. It's not for the pay.
Right.
It's not just a job. It's because this is something you want to do and something where you want to grow in. Exactly.
You need to have it as a passion. Yeah, I
it's
totally agree. You know, what? Y'all know I agree with that, don't y'all?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm all for the kids. I'm just like, tell me the truth. I got your back. I got your back.
Exactly.
You know?
Just tell the truth.
Right.
That's it.
And I remember a few years back a daycare that was on like the not YouTube, maybe it was YouTube, where they had a little kid that was on there. He might have been about maybe 6, 7, 8 years old. And he was actually beating up on
a teacher?
No, he was beating up on the other kids. This was a daycare. Oh my goodness. I really wanted to whip that little boy. Because he walked up to a kid. The little baby was a little baby.
Oh.
And the baby was sitting down. It was like a little, just maybe not even, that baby couldn't
Probably
have
like
been
6, 7 months sitting up, right?
Yeah, sitting
Okay.
up, and I think the baby was in one of those walkers,
Mm-hmm.
and he went up and he slapped the baby.
Oh no!
Then he started shaking him and stuff, and I'm like, "What? Whose kid is this?"
So where was the teacher?
Hello, the
Recorded.
teacher. Wait, no, the recording didn't come from the teacher. The recording came from the cameras,
classroom camera. Okay,
but the lady left the boy there. The teacher left the boy there, and she walked away.
Oh, was that at the one that was at a home daycare?
I think it might have been a home
Yeah.
daycare. But the whole thing is, do you not hear this baby crying?
Okay. Screaming, crying.
You
Yeah.
ain't hear a
Do
big
you
slap?
not hear
I
this
think I've
baby
seen
crying?
that one.
And let me tell you something. A baby's cry that I need a pamper,
tell the difference
or I need something
in
to
the cry.
drink, or somebody is abusing me, that is a whole different
Like
cry.
I got hurt cry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something is happening, and I want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
No. What?
Yeah, this boy, he was, I have to show you this thing. He was beating up on that baby, and I wanted to just be on the other side of
The screen.
of my phone for a minute.
Exactly.
Snatch him up and show him a little bit of something. It just didn't make
Yeah.
no sense to me. And I'm like, okay, so, lady, if you have, excuse me, because there's a certain ratio that you have to have
age,
for
yeah.
every age. And where was the rest of the workers? Why did you leave this bad little monstrous kid with these
And
other?
if you know he's that type of child to put his hands on other kids like that, keep him by your side or have him doing something that really keeps him engaged.
Who is he?
Why
Was
is he
it
with a
her?
little baby?
Was it one of her kids?
I don't
Because you
know.
know sometimes when people have
The home
children, home daycares, they care more for their children
than
or
others.
their family's children than they do their own.
I don't like that.
No.
It shouldn't be like
You know,
that.
and I know when my grandson, he's 2 years old, and my daughter had to go back to work. She works for transit, so she had to go back to work. And she had her neighbor. Now, I'm not saying anything about this lady because she could possibly be the sweetest person in the world. But I didn't have a good feeling from the door. And then I would have to go and pick up my grandson and keep him for an hour or two and, to give till my daughter got home. I could do that.
Yeah.
And every time I would go to pick up Adonis, every time I wouldn't even ring the bell yet. And I would just stand outside because I'm hearing my grandson cry. And I'm like, I don't like this. I don't know what she's doing or what she's not doing, but I don't like this. And then as soon as she would open up the door, she was like, here's your grandma. And she would open up the door and he would see me. And it was like his whole world was like that melted, and I would feel. And I told my daughter, I said, listen, I don't know, but this is not going to keep happening.
Yeah.
Figure something else out.
Right.
Figure it out. And now,
Right.
so now my son, he watches his nephew, and then
Yeah.
my sister watches him when she gets home from work. And we kind of take turns in that, because I'm just like, I don't want to have to kill nobody but my
know.
grandson.
Yeah.
Are you serious? Why is he crying
Like that.
like that?
And
I'm on the outside of the door. He doesn't even know I'm here. Kids cry when you leave them. Kids cry when they see you, like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But this, no, I don't like this. I don't like this. And he,
See, I don't like that.
I didn't either.
Ooh.
I did not
You can
either.
tell it's like, why? Like something told me to stand here and just listen. Something feel different.
Yeah, something's
you can
not
tell
right.
something's not right. And then when they see you and you see them, it's like, are you okay? And it's like, oh, we got to change this.
But with babies, they can't, and it's the worst part.
Yeah.
They can't talk.
They
you
can't.
know?
They can't.
So your mind is just going everywhere, like thinking that everything that happened is like they can't tell you what happened. That's the worst. That's the worst.
That's why I try to make the parents feel as comfortable as possible and keep open communication and tell them you can call as much as you want, especially first-time parents, because I know they're panicking like, I just had to leave my child. I don't know what's going to happen, especially with the child care centers that is going on around and people abusing other people's kids because they're stressed out. So I'm like, they're fine. Here's pictures. Here's videos and everything. And of
stop
course,
by when you can. Stop by.
Yeah.
Just don't.
Yeah,
you don't have to be announced.
Yeah.
Stop by, and you're more than welcome to stop by.
Exactly.
You know, it's when your ears and your antennas go up when you well, you can come by at any time. Just give us, a heads up.
Why
I gotta give you a heads up?
Exactly. Just come
I
on.
gotta give you a heads up.
Yeah.
I don't gotta give you. You got my kid. I'm paying you.
Exactly.
Right.
Heads up for what? I'm coming when I come. That's
Yeah.
it.
Speaking of paying daycares, now I'm not throwing shade at your daycare or what me and Bree are paying or whatever, but in general, why is childcare so expensive? Why is it? And I get it. Oh, you're taking care of my kid. It's priceless. Sure, whatever. Right. But why am I paying $300 a week? We're not talking about monthly payments.
It's a week.
It's more than my car. A car is $50,000. Why? What are we?
Yeah, we're paying basically rent twice right now for just childcare.
How is it that? Do you know, or is it just an industry thing? Is it just one of the things? It's just really expensive for?
Yes, and it's very expensive, and there's schools out there more expensive than we are because we have to keep the lights, we do the food. When things break down, getting supplies because kids have a tendency to break things or. It's a lot to run a child care center, and people think, oh, we're doing good. No, we've fallen still. It's a lot.
How? That's crazy.
And then all of a sudden, because of ratio, depending on how many kids we have in, and we still got to pay these people too. It's a lot. It's a lot that we come out of pocket for.
Really?
And it's still not enough.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. It's always mind-boggling to me because I would figure the more kids a place has or is able to have, maybe the rates wouldn't be as high because they have more children. So,
y'all
you
don't
know
understand
what
what happens behind those closed doors.
See, like at COA, I'm putting a name out there. Like at COA, that school had well over like 300 students, maybe more.
Less,
a little bit less. Well, when we first started out. When we first got at COA.
We have our limits, but
okay.
We had a lot of kids.
We had a lot of kids. Well, so it was like 100 to 200 kids.
Our max, I think, was 200.
200.
Like 100 and something.
So you had all those kids. Each classroom had two students. I'm sorry. Each class had 2 teachers, okay? And then it was like, 15 kids each class? You're telling me, and every parent was paying $3-something a week. And that's not if they had more than one child, that they wasn't like, okay, why do they need to charge all that? And it was a corporate business.
Yeah, it's a corporate business, but
that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Did you have to bring?
ridiculous.
Well, let me ask you a question. Did you have to bring? Were you funding your child's?
No.
Formally, no.
Lunch?
At COA,
It all
weren't.
came.
No. Yeah, the formula came with them, that business, and then I think the only thing we had to bring is like the basics. Diapers,
Okay.
pants,
So now
pampers,
think
clothes.
about it. You're talking about the formula. You said the formula. I'm thinking that you're talking about the baby formula.
Yeah.
All right. So formula costs you how much? Think about it.
Yeah, it's like $30 a pop.
And then whatever else maybe some Pampers. Extra Pampers there.
No, we supply the
You
pampers.
supply your own Pampers.
Right.
All right. So the formula and then the labor, if you will, just being able to deal with. Teachers have to live.
Yes.
Teachers have to live. Teachers gotta live.
They do have to live.
Okay.
but
So now they're with your kid all day long, and at $300 a week, you said.
more. and that was just for like an infant. I'm saying is
If it's got to be changed,
being on both sides of the
How often does she change a diaper 3 times a day? Come on, you need $300 a week for that?
3 times a day?
Like
you need $300 a week for
5
that?
or 6 times a day. You change
Come
the
on.
diaper.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh wow, that's terrible.
No, I'm just saying that being on both sides, like child care providers don't get paid what they should be getting paid. That's number one, and the daycare is like not like COA because they're a corporate business. They're making the money. Like I don't know why they're not. Something like them, not pointing them out directly, not saying that I was getting paid dirt when I was there, but like a corporate business like that, why aren't they paying their teachers what they deserve doing the job that they're doing?
Oh, you talking about the I'm talking about as
you
far
said
as
that
the
about a lot of
teachers is
industries.
concerned.
You said that a lot about a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You said about anybody, any business.
Yeah.
They people are always going to say they deserve to have more more
They
pay.
do. I think teachers in general, even if you work at a public school, elementary teachers, they're not getting paid.
Like I said,
teachers are
like I
underpaid
said, it's not just
it's
everywhere.
Yeah.
You can make that argument for any industry, for any workforce. They're all, if you ask them, they're most likely going to say yes, we deserve to have more money.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, there's no there's got to be a state grant or something that helps fund.
You'll
be surprised.
The daycare or
Even
something.
If there was,
I just don't
how
get
long
it.
it takes for us to get it.
Okay,
Half the
I
time,
mean, sure, but
we don't get it. It's so much behind closed doors that people don't understand, and it is a battle. It is a battle.
running a daycare.
I don't like it.
And the supplies.
I
and
don't
trying to
like it.
Open up your own
activity
daycare.
plans for
Money.
them and
I will.
everything. It gets expensive. That's why sometimes you see teachers coming out their own pockets for getting those supplies and stuff.
That's right. Speaking of which, I remember back in the day, we never had to bring glue and scissors and all. We just went to school.
Yeah.
The most you had to bring was your own notebook and backpack and some pencils to use or ink pen. But now they're asking for all hand sanitizers and
tissues.
And I'm like,
5
what?
notebooks,
Right.
2 packs of pencils. Everybody sharing with everybody.
Right.
I'm
Absolutely.
buying for the rest
I
of your
said,
friends
it's
too in class.
bringing scissors and all that. And I said, what is this list? What is this here? Why are the kids purchasing all of this stuff? Why can't the money private schools for that matter, why aren't they purchasing all of this stuff and having it already ready for the kids?
That I don't know.
Why are they not, for that matter, why not have what some of the other organizations out here have, the book bag giveaway and stuff like that, and let's just have a fundraiser, you know what I mean? So we can have all of this stuff if we're private.
Yeah.
If we're private, but it's
It's a lot.
signs of the times.
It's crazy.
Things change. Things have changed so much, and I guess rightly so. Because if we don't change, then we're stagnated and bored and crazy.
We need change. Change can be good.
It can. It can.
I just try to keep it positive. It's too much negativity going on, so I just try to keep it as positive as possible. That's why your child knows about meditation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Telling me to meditate. It's like I'm not even stressing, Jay. He was like, well, you need to relax and just meditate. I said, well, okay. And then he told me when he said that, we were getting in the car, we were having a mommy Sunday. I think we were going to the movies or something like that. So he's like, all right, Mom, we're going to get in the car and you're going to turn your jams on, okay? I said, okay, Jay. And he said, then we're going to close our eyes and we're going to meditate. I said, well, if that's what you want to do for our date today, that's fine.
That's cool, though.
We could do
that is cool.
He does like having his peace. He's like, okay, there's too much going on. Let me just go have some
He steps
peace.
away for a little bit. Yeah.
And then he going to come back.
Yeah, he does.
That's a good. That's a good thing because then kids learn downtime. Everything does not have to be
rah, all the time.
So frenzied and carrying on. We have to have quiet time and be peaceful and just sit back and quiet don't always have to mean that you're in trouble, so you have to sit in the corner. Quiet can mean a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, it could be a
Jalen, real
good
quick,
thing.
can I get a quiet toy, please?
Yes.
I'll sit here. Just let me get a quiet toy.
Yeah.
Like, okay, Jalen.
Yeah, during nap time, I'm like, you don't have to take a nap, but you just have to be quiet so the rest of your friends could get their rest. You could get a book, you could get a quiet toy, just as long as you stay on your cot.
Yeah, he'll do that.
And he'll do it.
That's so great.
And then I'll get in the car and pick him up. Like, Jalen, why don't you take a nap? Yeah, because, you know, I just don't like taking naps at school. You know, I'd rather just take a nap at home. Okay, Jalen. All right.
They like to have a choice, so I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
They like to feel like they're in control of something. So I'm
Right.
like, here's these two choices, but it still meets what I need them to do.
Stay
Absolutely.
quiet.
This is
No.
a happy medium.
Yeah.
Exactly.
A win-win
Yeah,
situation.
but
Exactly.
Jalen be trying to hang, and then I get him in a car seat, and
And
in 2 minutes, not
boom.
even a minute down the street, he is knocked out.
And then you got to carry him in the house.
Yes.
You got to carry him in. Get
That heavy
His
swinging.
lanky so. I got him in one arm, the baby on the other arm, and the baby carriage. Like, you gotta walk, son. I'm sorry. It's like,
That's funny.
just
That
so
is
tired,
so
Mom.
funny.
they should take a
Kids
nap
are
at school.
kids are cool.
But
though.
then be
kids
mad.
are so
He-
cool.
He'd be mad if you don't have his blankets for his cot. I'm like, Jalen, you didn't even go to sleep. Like, I'm confused.
Because
What you need your
yeah,
blankets
they'll
for?
know. I need this. I need that for school. This is not mine. Where's my
Yeah.
blanket? Well, when you go home, you tell
your
your
mom.
mom
Yep.
that you need your blanket.
And he
You
comes
can have
straight home.
conversations with her about bringing your stuff to school too.
He should come straight home like, Mom, tomorrow I need my blanket. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
well, are you gonna put it in the wash or like? I
Exactly.
can't think of everything here.
Because they know,
son.
oh, this is part of my routine and it's not here. This
Yes.
is not good. Where's my
Jalen,
stuff?
He cracks me up. He'd be like, again? My mom forgot my
Yeah,
blankets
again?
Again? Really?
Well, you know, you think is for as much of change that kids like
Mm-hmm.
in some aspects, they are prone to, like you said, structure. It has to be this
Yes.
way
He
because
is-
this is the way I'm used to it being,
Yes.
and this is what's comfortable for
Yes.
me.
Jalen is just like, if it's not the way he's used to it, he freaks out. Junie goes with the flow. He don't care about nothing. All he needs is some food.
Yeah.
I need my Sonic and my dinosaurs, and I'm good. Jalen, no. They watch the same movie every night to go to bed. They take a shower every night, the same time. He does the same thing at school. I'm guessing he has to have his everything the same way, the same way, or he'll call you out on it. Like the one time he went to my mom's house, she's like, "All right, let's watch a movie before bed." He's like, "My mom said I need to watch Horton or Ferdinand to go to bed." Like he knows this is the movies I put on for bed.
Yeah.
Don't change it.
Sometimes the kids come to school. Well, my mom said, well, let
Yeah.
me tell you something.
Yo, we're at
Your
school.
mom is not here. You are in school. So what we do here is this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to have an understanding. This
Yeah.
is our routine. Okay? And they'll give you the face. And I'm like, we're going to be on the same page. Or what's up? You know?
Right. I'll call your mom myself.
Exactly. And I'll tell your mom what we talked about. You want to be there for the conversation? That is fine with me. Well, everybody.
But
no.
they eventually
They're just.
Yeah, they adjust to it. I have a kid that's where I work at, and he beats me to the punch now. You know, close to 8:00. Miss Hayes, yes. Is it quiet time? Yes, there's quiet time. So he runs around. I work at a shelter. He runs around. It's quiet time.
Yeah.
All the kids in their room with their parents. Yes,
know.
it is quiet.
And then they have, I used to have scheduled cards in my classroom, and kids used to look at the clock too. So they realized at this time, there's a long hand that's at 12. That
Right.
means it's almost lunchtime.
That's time.
So they can't tell time, but they know when this hand is there and that hand is there, something else is coming along. They'll
That
pay
was me in
attention.
school. 10:30. Oh God. 10:50. Oh no.
That's it.
Exactly.
That time you.
I can see him doing that.
I don't know how I
can
made it
actually
through
see
school.
Brandon doing that. What?
Yeah.
And then you want to know what's wrong with your kids.
Exactly.
Hello. They're just like
I
you.
say that all the time.
Yeah.
Say that all the
Yeah.
I get it. It's like, oh, you looking like your daddy.
That's Junie for you.
That
Right?
is Junie.
So I have something fun for us to maybe think about. I got a couple of examples. Maybe if you think of some, it shouldn't be too hard. I was talking with Bree earlier about the little silly things that grandparents say to their children about raising their children.
Yeah.
So stuff that maybe Bree's mom would say to her about one of our kids, something a little silly. that doesn't quite make sense, but it's like one of those like old little wise tales or something like that.
Something grandparents say, you'd be like,
an example today was Julian, of course, our 4-month-old, and she was taking care of him, and she goes, Bree recently started giving him like oatmeal, a little cereal, and he's been eating it. That's the first thing he ate, so awesome. And so Bree's mom saw it today for the first time and said, I knew he was ready to eat. I knew it because I was sitting down at the table and I was eating food and I looked over and he had his mouth open. That's how you know they ready to eat. Like, what does that even mean?
He don't even know how to control his lips yet.
He can't even hold his head up. What are you talking about? That's how you know, like, you know what I mean? It means that it means well, but it's just something that makes you go, what?
or they be like, oh, look at him, he walking already, getting out the way for something, getting out of the way for what?
Another baby.
For it's like, oh, he's going up so
baby.
fast. Oh, they're moving out the way for someone else. What y'all been doing?
What? For what?
So
Mary things.
Do you have?
But I
know
knew
you
it.
probably
I knew it was
you
coming.
got a bunch that you probably say.
I knew it was coming
Like,
this way.
oh, he's blinking his eyes. That's
Season
it. The
salt
eyesight's
is
coming in.
That's
like,
what he can't.
What?
Is he following my face? Oh, he gonna need glasses. Yeah, he gonna need some glasses. Bree, I think he need glasses. He can't see. Of course he can't see. He's like 5 days old. Of course he can't see.
Oh my God. Georgia, this is the shenanigans that be happening over here on this podcast. I can't think off the top of my head. I'm sure I do have some little sayings and things of that nature, but I can't think of any off the top of my head. I know
Anybody said to you? No. No. Your family was normal?
No, they ain't normal by far. Not by far. I think some of the things that they would say is, I dreamt of fish.
No, but
it's always
no.
fish.
It's always fish.
But
Your
that's
mom,
everybody.
Your mom.
I was
telling
dreaming
you,
of fish.
His mom legit has a gift because she literally calls. She be having the fish dreams. No lie. Every single time somebody ended up pregnant. She dreamt when I was pregnant. She dreamt when Mikkel was pregnant, and she dreamt when Maddie was pregnant. All of us. She dreamt.
2 people
about all of it.
Had a fish dream that I know about. Mikkel, my sister, her baby. It was my mom, and then it was one of my best friends from forever. His mom, had a random fish dream, and she called to me talking about, oh, you guys are having a baby. It's like, no, it's not us.
No,
and she had like pink fish in a kiddie pool in the backyard.
Pink fish.
And we didn't know at the time that Mikkel was pregnant, and then it was right after that it was announced. I was like.
And then I ended up being pregnant.
What is it with the fish?
But I had a boy.
Somebody needs to look into it.
Me and Mikkel were pregnant at the same time. I think I was like 2 months behind her, though. 3 months. 3 months behind her, maybe.
It's funny because I used to get pregnancy symptoms when any of my friends were pregnant.
Yeah.
I'm like, something going on, y'all. I don't know who it is or where it's coming from.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Georgia,
all y'all just need to take a test.
Georgia had all my symptoms.
All y'all just
all
need to take a test. It's somebody.
So it's not an old person thing or a granny thing. It's anybody
When
thing.
I called her and told her I was pregnant with Julian, she legit was on the phone throwing up. She's like,
It's you.
You're the reason why I'm sick.
I literally, and then I started throwing up again. And I was like, my gosh.
Yeah. And then
I get symptoms, and I'm like, I know it's not me. I've been good. Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
I was like, so what is it? It's always one of my friends. And I'm like, okay. And then the symptoms will go away. I'm like, thank you, Jesus.
They go away as soon as you find out who it is?
As soon as I find out who it is, they go away. I remember my other best friend who was pregnant actually in August, but I did not find out until like late September. And I was just going through it. What made me think that I had the urge to take a pregnancy test, even though I know I didn't need to. And then she came by my job and she's like, I have something to tell you. And I'm like, it's you. She's like, what? I'm like, go ahead, finish saying what you have to say. She's like, I'm pregnant. It's been you. I've been getting your symptoms. And I'm not even happy because I'm like, I've been dealing with all of this because of you.
Because you could have told me earlier, right?
Exactly.
Save me this.
Listen, the beginning of this pregnancy with Bree was pregnant with Julian. She woke up every morning. Oh, I feel great. And then I've been over there quietly suffering. And finally, I said something to her like, bro, I've been working up every day and I'm sick. Or I'll be at work and all of a sudden I get sick out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It never happens. I never get sick. And I was like, and you've been feeling fine every morning. I said, you're welcome because I've been doing it. And then eventually I felt fine and then she started getting sick again. I was like, there it is.
Somebody takes it on.
Balance
There
has
you
been
go.
restored.
It's crazy.
So apparently
Balance.
it says dreaming with fish related to pregnancy means that the baby will bring good luck, success, and prosperity in life. And also to the dreamer as well. They had something prosperous or something happen recently to them.
Well, yeah.
So,
your mom with her new house, her new job, the foundation, all of that stuff. She dreamt about all of it. Well, all three of her boys.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just so weird. Like, why are fish related to
babies
to pregnancies? So weird, but
yeah.
I bet it has something to do with Asian culture.
Probably.
Asian, because they're all about the fish and koi and all of that kind of stuff. I bet you it has something to do with that. That's one of those things that we have to look up, Brandon.
What? About Asian people?
Oh my heavenly Father!
What?
I can't stand
about looking up if the fish in pregnancy and things. If that has
like
to
in
do
the Asian culture.
I just looked it up. I told you.
You didn't tell us what culture it was from, though.
I don't know if it was necessarily going to do any
it has a lot to do.
culture. I mean, it could be.
You said you didn't know where it came from, so I was like,
Right.
I bet you it has something to do with Asian culture.
Oh, I mean, that's not what the Googles said.
Google ain't right all the
Wikipedia?
time. Anybody
The
can
Google University.
The Googles. Anyway.
The Googles, all right. Well,
I don't know. I mean, I'd look into it some more, but
well, that's one of those moments.
what
that
obvious
you're talking
answers
about. Yeah, the
that
obvious
nobody has
answer.
been doing?
You looked that up?
Yeah.
No, I looked
the thing that you had, it says in Japan, fish dreams are believed to imply
Look at it.
prosperity, good
Voila.
fortune. and
Okay, all right, hold on. But what did you
diversity.
Google?
Google.
What
What you put in
What
Google?
did you Google?
What fish dreams are from what culture? And it says in Japan, for fish dreams are believed to imply prosperity, good, whatever.
That's in Japan. They ain't in America.
Oh my heavenly
We
Father.
talking about America.
No, we're not. We're talking about where it come from.
We talking about America, the United States.
I'm
That's
smart,
what we talking
y'all.
about.
I'm really, really intelligent. But yes, that was one of the things that I remember my grandmother and them always talking about. They had all types of things that they did more stuff than have more sayings. I know, like
Well, the sayings aren't even another thing. Oh my gosh, there's so many stupid little like sayings that old people use. I'm sorry, but there are like well, I can't even think of the one I just had in my head. Shoot.
I know my grandmother and them used to say wouldn't let us split the pole.
Yeah. I got that from
We've
my
been
friends.
through this before. Step on a crack, break your
your
mama's
mama's
back.
Yeah, well,
You know how many times I thought about my
that
mama's
was
back?
more of a
So I'm
kid's
just-
thing for us.
Yeah.
That was more of a kid's thing. But I mean, seriously, my grandmother would not allow. She would make
Don't
you
split the pole
walk
'cause it's
back
bad-
around
yeah, bad luck.
the pole. Another thing we couldn't do was put our hats on the bed or on the table.
Or don't put your purse on the floor or open an umbrella in the house. I didn't even get that from my parents. They're African. They didn't know nothing about that. I got it
used to
from
be
my American
scared
friends.
as crap of opening an umbrella in the house. Like there's gonna be an earthquake
I
or
was a
something.
daredevil.
or-
I'm like, what's going to happen? Pop. I still hear.
And this was a good one. My grandmother, girls are not supposed to whistle in the house.
Really?
What?
I have no idea. I never asked her.
I
why.
don't even know how to whistle.
Never-
so.
I used to whistle while I was working, and my grandmother whistled, but not in the house. Not in the house. And don't play. You couldn't play cards. Playing cards. Not on a Sunday.
What?
Not on a Sunday.
Not on Sunday.
I feel like that's well. Is that like
Does it
leaning
feel-
toward like gambling or something or?
what What are you gambling?
I know. I'm just saying. It's like in that same like playing like hard games or something like that. It'd be like closely related to.
It's just cards, period.
It's
You know
just
what I mean?
cards.
I
she
know, but
would
I'm
not-
just saying
yeah.
it's like closely related to like what do you like? I don't play those little games like throwing dice and crap like that. You know what I mean?
Cards are two different things, baby.
Related. Is anyone listening
okay,
to the
okay,
words
we
coming out of
got
my
you.
mouth?
Okay, yeah.
Related.
I don't
Okay,
know. I don't
so-
know what that was all about. And another one was if it's thundering and lightning outside, We
Turn
had to
all
stay.
lights
We
off.
had to turn all the lights off. Not turn the lights off,
That's
and you had to be
probably actually
quiet.
a good-
You had to sit still and be quiet. You couldn't take no bath if you was
No.
in bed. Get out the
If
bath.
if it's lightning and thunder, you can't get in the shower. Or
Yeah.
stuff like that.
And you-
or just turn the lights off because I don't know why if the lights went out
Well-
they would go out anyway. But
Well,
yeah.
my grandmother-
or don't touch the lights while it's lightning and thunder, and
Yeah.
don't touch the.
My grandmother told me a story. She told us a story, and this is what I had. This is the reason why I believed what she was saying. She said, my grandmother said she worked for Jewish people, like cleaning house at one time, and she told whomever that was there at the house when it started thunder and lightning, she told them to turn the lights out and turn off, whatever stuff they had going on, radio, whatever, and they did not. She said the next day when she came home, the next day when she went to work, there was a big lightning strike that tore the television up.
Ooh.
And she said, and I thought to myself, well, as I got older, I thought to myself, wait a minute, lightning and TV, maybe the electricity drew the lightning to it or whatever. But then people get struck by lightning just walking down the street or whatever. So there's no electricity there.
We have electricity surging. We have energy surging through our bodies. So I don't know.
Well,
Yeah,
okay.
I know. Look, it's a lot. This is the science.
You
of me.
can sit in a car, but you can sit in a
car.
car
Yeah.
and be
Be fine.
and be fine if you're in the open and there's no tree that the lightning hit and it breaks and falls on your car, you'll be fine. Like because of the rubber on from the wheel, the tires. Yeah. So I just don't get it. But anyway.
You can't ride in the car at night with the lights on inside. It's illegal. That's
It's
another
not,
one.
Yeah, that's
Not illegal
It's
to
not
do
illegal.
that.
But your parents used to say that.
Really? I always thought it was illegal.
It is not illegal.
Growing up, I thought-
I
Nope.
thought
Turn
that
the
the
lights
cops.
off.
I thought the police would pull you over.
No, they will
Yeah.
not.
You know how many
You
times
can
I
have
wanted to
your lights
read
on.
something while I was a passenger?
Why are
Do
you?
you know
I'm
when
gonna say,
I
why are you
learned
reading
that was not
driving?
true?
That's
No,
dangerous.
while I'm
Do you
a
know when I
passenger.
learned that was not true?
When?
Last year.
Are you serious?
I'm so serious. I was like,
What the light thing?
yeah, you got to turn it off because the cops will stop you.
Yeah.
I don't even think I learned that from my parents. Listen, it's the American culture.
Never knew that.
I learned a lot of that stuff from.
Yup.
I never knew that. Wow.
Or when you pass the cop, you got to turn your music down.
What? Your mom had you turn the music down when you pass by a cop?
Listen,
Yeah.
if they had radios in their car that they can turn to a good station, they
Yeah.
would probably be in there jamming
Jamming
too.
too, right.
You know
That would be
what?
me.
You know
that
what?
would be me as a cop.
Listen,
Right.
Rolling down
that's
the
actually
street.
It's probably a good point because depending on what kind of music you listen to and how loud it is,
Yeah.
it's probably a good thing because if the music's real loud and you're listening to like rap or something, it's gonna
Make
draw
you attention.
attention to
Attention.
you.
No, but
And it's gonna make
my
them notice
music
you.
don't
Oh, they
be,
got a tail light out. Let's pull them over. You know what I mean? Like they would have noticed it
but
before.
my music don't be crazy loud. But I just noticed that you know how every time you pass a cop, both hands go on the steering wheel. You stand up straight, make sure your seatbelt on, turn your music down, everything. Like they can actually see it inside of your car and see everything that you're doing.
Well,
like,
they can, but during
Half
the day.
the time, but did you know
Put on
what?
tinted
I was
windows.
looking at a police officer today, and I thought to myself, "Oh shoot, do I need to turn stuff down?" But his head was turned to the side.
Yeah.
He was
He'll be paying
looking.
attention.
Some of them be on their own cell phones and stuff like that, or it's a funny thing. It's funny to me because I have a couple of police officer friends from being at the job that I'm at now. There's a couple of officers that are in the area of Elk Township, and they are the most awesomest people ever. I just seen them the other day. They came past the other day. I'm like, where you been? What you doing? And I told them, I had to tell them that they gave me a new respect for police officers, just them, I said, and I told them, I said, because honestly speaking, y'all was not the best thing on my list. Like you guys were on the bottom of my list of liking
Likeable,
people
Yeah.
and being able to trust you guys. But these it's like 4 of them that's in the Elk Township Police Department, and I tell you, they are absolutely the best, and they're young guys too.
Aw.
And one of the residents where I work at, she said, you know what she said? She said, you're her baby. He said, I am. And I said, I didn't tell you he was my baby. I told you he was my babe.
Oh.
And he was like, I'm that too. I was like, yes. But they are sweet. They are really sweet guys and everything. And I'm like, yes, this is what I'm talking about. Yeah. Being able to relate to these guys, and they respect you and you respect them, and they got your back. This is what it's supposed to be like. You know, they're supposed to be able to protect and serve, not you be afraid of them. They're supposed to be able to protect you from the bad guy, not them being the bad guys.
Yeah.
Not them being the guy.
Look, I done had some running, and I'm like, why would you do that? Why? And I was like, I know all of y'all are not the same.
So, Georgia, Miss Coleman, why don't you tell our listeners where they can find your business online?
Well, right now you can email me at thehouseofpeach.com, because that's another business that I'm on in the works of. But TheHouseOfPeech.com. I spell peach a different way. So the House of Peach.
Sure. Well, we'll make sure it's on the Facebook and also the show notes for the podcast.
Instagram coming soon.
Awesome. And you can get all your custom made body butters, soaps, oils, anything, skincare, and more. Correct.
And more.
Awesome.
You can't just say body butter. You have to say it like
body butter.
Add
the accent in there.
No, I was thinking.
What's wrong with the way I said it?
Body butter. You gotta have.
Oh Lord! I'll add a sound effect in there.
Body butter.
Yeah,
that's dirty.
No, it's
not
dirty.
Babe, when she said that, all I could think about was the Bob's Burger theme song. That they do. You know, when Louise sees the guy. Is it Louise or what's her name?
Tina.
Tina sees the guy.
Yeah. Well, Ms. Coleman, thank you for joining us on the Journey podcast.
Yes,
you were great.
Me.
Yeah.
Hopefully you had fun on
I
here.
did. I was nervous.
No, there's nothing to be nervous about with us. Not at all.
Because it's something new. You know, when something new comes to somebody, it is like, oh my goodness, it's fear. And I'm like, no, I'm going to take it and turn it into something positive. I'm like, let me go through with it. Everything happens for a reason. So
yeah.
That's the first
As you can see, we're very unstructured.
Yes.
Boorfully. We're structured, but not boorfully.
You know, just
not
get together and
we
talk.
We love it.
It's good.
Absolutely.
I loved it.
Good. You can come back again with
will.
the body butter.
What's the back in the day with the voices on the phone? What them things called?
What
them women called?
What you talking about?
With the voices?
The ringtones?
No.
What?
They listen to people's voices. They have certain females or men have the voices.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
Where are we going with this? Because
you can always
something that
count on me and Bree.
Shouldn't say on this
I'll come up there.
Podcast.
I'll do body butter, and Bree can do.
Them Christians be in it too, just because they say
I know they do.
Hi, Bill, how are you?
Oh Lord. Yeah, we need to talk about that and Christians in the casino.
Oh man,
yeah, Jesus.
What casino?
When you see mother sitting at the casino. Oh, is that Mother Louise? She's sitting at the slot table.
Playing the slot.
Oh.
Over there playing
the slot
blackjack.
table, the slot machine.
What you know about playing blackjack? Hold on, I'm on the roll.
On the next episode.
Wait a minute, no.
Listen, they'd be at church on Sunday like this.
At the casino till 5 a.m.
No, I was going to say, or at the casino and they trying to duck you, and then all of a sudden that's when they hit the jackpot.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding. I ain't never seen them, but they just be sitting there, click, click, click. Man, ain't no minding nobody. Everybody walking by, they in their own world. Let's talk about it. On the next episode of the Journey Podcast.
Listen, you shouldn't be saying nothing because you there with them. So what you worry about?
Dun,
What do you mean?
I'm just you.
How you know
I
they
don't
in there?
gamble.
I'm
I
just
don't
saying.
gamble.
You're talking about seeing the Saints at the casino. Was
I
you
don't
there
gamble.
too?
Were you in
Why
there?
was you at the
You're there
casino?
too. What are you
Y'all be plural. Where your kids be at? Who got your kids?
Georgia.
Yeah, I do. Sometimes I do.
Listen, no. Let's set the record straight now because you put it out there and make it seem like I'm a gambler.
No.
I've gone maybe twice in the past year, and both times I've lost all my money. Not a lot, $20, $40 between the whole visit. I put in the slot machine, and I walk away with nothing. A loss. So I don't do it. The last time I went to we were out in Atlantic City. There were other people there that were with us that were gambling, and they were doing great. But I reserved myself. I didn't put a cent in anywhere at all. So, yay to me.
Y'all got me crying over here.
When somebody told me about the penny slots, do y'all know I actually brought pennies? I didn't know nothing about gambling. I brought pennies. I'm like, oh, I ain't know.
You got a bucket of pennies?
Yeah, I had some pennies. I said, oh, I thought you just stick them in
You
somewhere.
put a penny in there, huh?
Georgia.
I looked. I was like, where do you stick it in at? Oh, this really ain't pennies.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't do
Lord.
I just observe.
Let me just keep my money to myself.
Exactly.
You know what? We can talk about it at our next episode, but I just want to say that I feel the same way with scratch offs and playing numbers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting more money out there to try to make more money. What?
Yeah.
How does that work? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's always somebody that you feel like don't need the money, that wind up winning the money.
Right.
Is it rigged or is it not rigged? You know, why can't I get this money? I need the money.
Yeah,
so I can buy
scratcher
some
people
body butter.
are
There you go.
they're something else. Them scratcher people.
She missed it. She missed it.
Oh,
I
You
didn't
missed
hear
it.
She said, I need the money so I can buy me some body butter.
And she said, "Burr, burr, burr."
she said it also softly. I couldn't hear it.
That's the point. All right, well, one more time for the road. Go ahead and take us out, Tanya and Bree. Go ahead.
Body butter.
That's the only part I know.
There it
guys.
is. Thanks for joining us on another episode of The Journey Podcast. This podcast has been a presentation of CCU Media. Hang on there. We'll be back in just 2 weeks with an all-new episode. We hope you can join us again and join in on some of the fun conversations that we have. You can join in on the conversation right now by going to our Facebook.com/CCU Journey Podcast. Leave us a comment, direct message if you have a question or a comment about the show, something that you would like to hear us do in the future or something that we've already done on previous episodes. We want to hear from you. Facebook.com/CCU Journey Podcast. All right, let's hear the disclaimers. You know them well. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of Christ Care Unit, Missionary Baptist Church, CCU Media, or Bishop Robert F. Hargrove Sr. We are all members of Christ Care Unit, Missionary Baptist Church in Sicklerville, New Jersey, where Bishop Robert F. Hargrove Sr. is pastor and founder. Follow, like, and subscribe to the show on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast, you can find us there. And check out the website, ccujourneypodcast.buzzsprout.com. Remember to support our good friend we had on the show today, Ms. Georgia Colemen, with her skincare business. Get the link right now on our Facebook page, facebook.com/CCU Journey Podcast. Okay, we'll see you right back here again in 2 weeks. I know it sounds like a long time away, but it'll be here before you know it. Until then, stay safe and take care. This is the Journey Podcast. Let's talk about it.